Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I want to thank all of our listeners from all over the world. Please do subscribe and share if you're not already. All right, let's get into it.
What's up, Dave?
You know the comedian Bill Burr?
Up north. Yeah, I do.
He did a great bit about that, about how, tech gurus, namely Steve Jobs, claims to, have invented this and invented that. And Bill Burr's like, it's like 20 eggheads in the basement that get no recognition that did all that shit. But here he goes up on the stage in his suit with tennis shoes and claims to be the one guy.
Right. Who's the other one that's like that? I was just thinking about that yesterday. Oh, I think it was Elon Musk. He didn't invent Tesla. He bought them out.
Well, and he hires these brilliant, top of the world brain engineers.
Or like when he stands there for SpaceX, I'm like, yeah, but you're the chief engineer or whatever because it's your company. But ultimately, you have a buttload of really intelligent NASA scientists and all these other people working for you who came from Rocketdyne and Raytheon and all these
he's
really
up there
crazy
pretending
places.
like he's Tony Stark.
Right, he's done exactly, like he invented it. It's like, well, hang on.
Stark Industries is now releasing a new product. Right.
At least he's not as bad as Bezos. When Bezos gets up on stage and does that whole Blue Origin thing, I just want to laugh at him because unlike Elon Musk, Bezos is not an engineer. Elon actually is an engineer. So, even though, if I had an invention like that, I'd be able to stand there and be like, well, yes, I invented it, and I'm a mechanical engineer, and while I don't do aerospace, I've hired aerospace engineers who know it really well. But at least I kind of know what I'm fucking talking about.
I understand the fundamentals of engineering, exactly.
He's just a coder.
So, I don't know if you know this, but Blue Earth, whatever the fuck his stupid company was, they're done. I think
they took a massive nosedive.
I think what sealed the deal was Elon getting the contract for NASA.
He did. That's exactly what sealed the deal. But you know what? And everybody's like, I was watching this thing the other day about it, and then a friend of mine actually had me on his podcast yesterday, and he has his channel's called Real Engineering. It's on YouTube and Nebula and Curiosity Stream and a whole bunch of other places. And he was asking me, and he was like, do you think that Blue Origin could have gotten there? And I said, honestly, Blue Origin's technology is quite incredible. The problem is that unlike Elon, Bezos, who has more money or just as much money as Elon, and prior to Tesla springboarding and Solar City springboarding and all this other shit, he really didn't have that much money. Bezos had a buttload more money. And it's like, well,
when they started the space game, Bezos was way ahead. Yeah.
Right. He was way ahead, had way more money that available. Maybe not put into it, but available. Available. Right. So as you develop technology, you have to ask, well, who got to the finish line first? And it has nothing to do with who's more capable or what technology is more capable. SpaceX has spent an obscene amount of money verifying and testing and proving of concept every one of their pieces of equipment. Not one, not two. They took a monster hit on deploying and launching satellites because they basically said we will cover hundreds of millions of dollars. We'll launch it and we'll cover the loss for the first 20 launches or whatever to get people to trust
we expect them to fail. Yeah.
Right, but to trust in that, United Launch Alliance has an insurance policy on your satellite, but they themselves do not cover the satellite if it's lost. SpaceX was doing that when they first started because they wanted people to use their equipment, and they were saying, look, if an accident does happen, and they do, we will completely make you whole. You will not be out anything on this launch. And if we do it correctly, you'll also only spend 1/5 of the normal cost.
Yeah. So, where Bezos went wrong, I think, is by competing with Elon instead of joining forces.
For sure. Had he been
talk about megalomania.
United Launch Alliance does compete against SpaceX, but not to the point that they're shitting on SpaceX or doing any of that stuff. They're like, no, we're in the game. We've been in the game for a long time. We're a traditional launcher. If you want to use us, you can. If you don't, there are other people. And they've always said, like, SpaceX makes nice stuff. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Because from
Yeah.
their point of view, they've got long-standing contracts with the military and other large corporations. That's not going away. They're not concerned too much about it. And there's no ego there of them trying to be like, oh, we're better. No, you know what? United Launch Alliance would really love SpaceX to get to fucking Mars and leave their satellite launches the fuck alone. The only reason
Right.
why SpaceX is doing satellite launches, like I say, is to prove concept. Look, we can build a reusable rocket.
Right, and to get some money, because there's, like you said, there's huge contracts. So if they can get a piece of that game, that can then fund their further ventures, right?
Absolutely. But initially he was willing to take it as a loss. Meanwhile, Blue Origin has not spent any money on investing at all in commercial space. They've only been fucking around with their own platform and how they're going to do whatever and blah 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 blah. But they don't put anybody else's stuff into orbit. They're talking about now creating an internet system because they look at Starlink and they're like, Jesus Christ, that thing is making them some fucking money. We are late to the game. But that doesn't matter. Blue Origin has never created a rocket designed to put a satellite into orbit. SpaceX developed their Falcon and everything else not to put something into orbit. It was designed to put humans into orbit, but until they can get there, hell, we'll launch anything. We'll prove that we can launch anything.
To also carry obscene amounts of cargo, because they realized wherever we go, we're going to need stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the Falcon launch system is designed to put humans into orbit. It's not actually designed for cargo. It just has been now like 120 trips doing cargo. And now that it's done 120 trips and only had 2 failures, that is a fantastic proof of concept. Not only can you get hundreds of tons into orbit, you can get it there safely.
And reuse the rocket?
And reuse the rocket over and over and over again? Yeah, this is a great deal. So when you're an administrator for a government organization, you have a very limited budget, and you look at the companies that are available. One of them can make all the promises at the end of the day, but it doesn't matter. If you cannot deliver, promises are bullshit. It's just lip service.
Promises of things you could not keep.
Right?
Right? Isn't that how the song goes?
Oh my God. I think that is how the song goes. Oh my God. It is so ridiculously hot here right now. It's 107
You're down in Palm Desert, huh?
I am. 107 fucking degrees.
That's crazy.
It's like 103 at 8 a.m.
Oh my God. Did you know? I just saw this crazy documentary. That was cool. Sounded like a monkey in the background. So I just watched this crazy documentary that freaked the shit out of me, kind of. I mean, it all makes sense, and I knew it was happening, but now it's just further proof. So it was a nature documentary about Baja California, Mexico, and how it used to be the same ecosystem, the same climate as Northern California. Oak trees.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in 1,000 years or less, Northern California is going to be like Baja California, right? The desert's coming.
Yeah. Great.
It's coming.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Shit.
I just watched another documentary. It says we're in a 100-year drought right now.
Oh, I know. Well, and that's the other thing is like California just left a drought 2 or 3 years ago.
But we didn't.
But we didn't, because
that was part of a 20-year drought. Oh yeah.
But do you remember the dam that failed because we had too much water coming in? Now that same lake is like 40 feet down.
Bone dry, right? Yeah.
Something else.
It's crazy. Like in my town here, Santa Rosa, there's a park, right? And there's a beautiful lake and everything, but there's also an area, a pond, right, with a lifeguard tower and everything, and it's normally like 10 feet deep in the center, maybe 15.
Right.
It's bone dry. It's a puddle.
Not right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even exist. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't dig that.
What was harrowing is they were saying this isn't a phase. This is the future.
No, I know. It's not. This isn't
Bum,
going to
bum,
come and
bum,
go.
bum.
This is here to
Right.
stay.
Yeah,
And
this is
what's
our
worse
new
is
normal.
we may have had a fighting chance against it until about 1975. 1977 is when we particularly fucked ourselves on a path to. It doesn't matter if we go green right now. We're not going to be able to reverse those actions.
Right. You know what? Do you remember when they cut the emissions? When on new cars in the 80s, the speedometer only went to 80 or 85.
Yeah.
Right? They wanted to discourage people from racing and shit.
Right.
Cars were the smallest they'd been in my lifetime. It was like we were on the right track. And then all of a sudden all that changed. Cars got bigger and heavier and worse gas mileage than ever. Now we got the Dodge Charger and the Dodge Challenger and these and they can come with the stupid like my dick is too small exhaust right out of the
I
fucking
know.
factory for you.
Right.
How obnoxious and how much do you want your neighbors to hate you? Would you like this exhaust or is your penis micro and you'd like this one? Can I get the micro penis exhaust, please?
Right, I know.
Yeah,
It's so irritating.
and I mean no offense to anybody with a micro penis. I'm just,
No. What's worse
can't.
though, Dave? Honestly, what's worse is when you see the vehicles that have like all sorts of emission systems that have been required to be placed on them to comply with EPA, but then they're piping in the sound of the motor into the stereo system when you accelerate to give you that little dick stroke. Oh, it's okay. Even though you're driving around a golf cart, we've put the sounds back in.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I just saw some third-party company designed an exhaust noise unit for Teslas. Speaking of which,
yeah, I'm sure of it. For people who are like, yeah, I
right?
need that throaty glow, 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 glow. Yeah, but it's not a V6.
Oh,
That's not a 385
yeah,
small block.
yeah. To me, when I hear that,
that's a
somebody
55
getting
watt
on it.
motor.
To me, when I hear somebody getting on a V8, that whoop, I think like, wow, you're killing my planet. Thanks.
Oh yeah, right.
It's right where my brain goes.
Right. Why? Every time they depress the pedal, it's like 80.
Like to the people
gallons,
out there,
10 gallons, 20
to the
gallons.
people out there who make up that stereotype about the Prius driver, I just want to like do the Three Stooges poke in the eyes, like doink, wake up, man, come on.
There's a study that just came out, I think about 2 months ago or 3 months ago, that looked at a series of passenger cars in the United States and their actual carbon impact. The vehicles with the lowest carbon impact for usage inside the continental United States. Now, granted, there are caveats. If you're in a place with more green energy availability, then obviously this doesn't. But this is based on an average across the entire U.S. People who drive VW TDIs, basically diesels, have the lowest carbon impact because they go the furthest and they have the least amount of destruction for the amount of distance they're going. When you look at an EV, currently most EVs in the rest of America, not California, not New York, not Nevada, not places that have large solar farms or large green energy facilities, but most of the other states, if you have an EV, you have a larger carbon footprint than if you had a petroleum powered car. Because in most of those states, they use coal fire to produce the energy.
Right, I was going to say, but that's a temporary thing.
Well, it is temporary, but how temporary is it is the real question. We have 129 or 130 some odd coal-fired plants in the U.S. 3 of them were built in the last 10 years. You think those power companies are going to shut down a coal factory that they just built 10 years ago? Hell no.
Oh,
They're going to burn it for another 20 years until they shut it down.
I agree. Power companies and oil companies, they're just like the cigarette companies. They'll lie until they're blue in the face, and they'll die on top of a pile of dollars.
Exactly, and they will always use technology that is legacy before they ever use anything that's cutting edge, ever. Unless they're forced to by law to put scrubbers or something like that on their stacks. But other than that, no, they use the most legacy, cheap shit that they possibly can. They don't care if it fouls up the planet. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they want us to die anyway. Agenda 21. They want most of us gone anyway. They want a population of 500 million.
The biggest VC people in America invest in energy companies, healthcare companies, tobacco, entertainment. Basically, if you look at it from their point of view, they don't mind if you get sick because then you have to pay for hospitalizations and all sorts of other shit. Meanwhile, they're making money on the entire equation. The entire equation.
Absolutely.
So
and meanwhile, if you're all stressed out, get a supersize meal because we'll get you on the diabetes too. Right. But you know what you'll love?
Cholesterol doesn't kill. What are you talking about?
No, not at all. Artificial, super hydrogenized, triple saturated. You're fine. Supersize it.
Totally normal.
Get a big gulp. The normal one, 24
God.
ounces is for pussies. Get a big gulp.
Yeah, do you remember what was that, like 46 ounces that McDonald's was selling for a while there, like in the 90s? They used to sell the bucket.
Yeah. And you just...
I mean, it wasn't called that, but that's what I called it. It was like a 5-gallon bucket of soft drink.
It might as well be.
And,
oh my God, the bucket and the trough. All you can eat. Come on down.
No.
Right? And watch, they'll start a separate drive-through for hover round.
I know. Don't hover around in segways. Don't give them too many options.
Yeah. Oh, you could push your oxygen tank right up to the counter. And of course, we allow smoking in our lobby. Yep, my first job was working for Satan and McDonald's.
Hang on, Dave. Sorry, what? Yes, please.
Anal leakage.
I believe I am. I think it's under 505-259-8043. Cool. Use my dad's discount.
Yes, I think the phone number is 8675309.
309.
Yeah.
No, I just need to turn the card on.
Gotcha. Is this your card, sir? No, I found it outside. Does that matter?
Is this your card, sir? No, I was just down on at the mall. But does that matter? That doesn't matter, right? It works. It works.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's money on it, right? Can you check? I mean, right?
Yep, that's fine. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, so I just had to go to Burlington and pick up a few, couple of light little things.
You know what would be funny is to be that overly
at Burlington because it's $3 for 2 cans of Dove.
Awesome. You know, it'd be funny when you just said "Have a nice day" and I didn't hear that person respond to you with "Have a nice day" or "You too." I got offended. You know, it'd be funny is to be like overly sensitive and not leave until they're like, "I said have a nice day."
Right. Just stand there and be like, what?
Yeah, I demand a response. You must retort.
Well, that's like, you know what? That's like when you see somebody and you're walking along and they just go, "Hey, how you doing?" You know they don't care they don't actually care. It's just their way of saying hello. It's a little aggravating sometimes because you're like, "I'm great," and they're still walking away. I'm like, why the fuck did you ask?
I know. Instead of saying that, we should just be like, "I am acknowledging you, fellow human."
Hello. Right? All you have to say is hello. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need to put a preface on there. There doesn't need to be a question. Just hello. That's enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Hi.
That would be another great one to do, like a YouTube video. Like if somebody,
how are you doing? I'm gonna respond. Well, it's hot as fuck. Who the fuck are you, and why are you asking me?
Yeah, that would be a great one to do a hidden video with, or have a friend film it, and when somebody's like, "Hey, how you doing?" like stop in front of them and be like, "I'm good, thank you so much for asking, but I'm really going through something right now."
Right, and just get into an entire thing, like,
yeah,
well,
totally.
so last Thursday, it was okay, and then I got pulled over, and everything went to shit. And let me tell you, Friday at the courthouse, like, just go on this entire fucking tirade.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave them like,
And it's my.
but no, I was really just asking you how you're, like, hello. Oh, well, but you
Why didn't you
put
say
so
that?
much more in there.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you just say that? Go ask me how I'm doing. Jesus.
Yeah. I had to stop, think about it. Jeez. And now you don't
Came
even
up with a-
now you don't even care to hear the answer after I put all of this energy into it?
Exactly. I feel
Okay,
so used
dick.
up and thrown away. Prick, I was invested in you for a minute. Right?
Yeah, for real though.
Oh, I love it.
Not cool,
What are you up to?
man.
Not cool at all.
Well,
Can't y'all just be
so
cool?
I got I was sent out this morning to go pick up some things because
Things needed picking up.
some things. Yeah, well, okay. So there's an award. It's gonna sound crazy. There's an award-winning donut shop in our town, but they are only open from 5 a.m. until 11 a.m. every day. So I had to get up early-ish, 9 a.m. Go over there and
Get some motherfucking donut.
get some motherfucking donuts. But they just won the award like 2 or 3 days ago, and I got there and there was like a line of people, and they put a limit, only a half a dozen. I was like, okay,
Wow.
gravy.
That's
Got a half a dozen
hilarious.
donuts, and then I was like, you know what? I'm hot and I'm schwitzing, so I might as well go get some deodorant while I'm out.
I'm schwitzing. What is that?
Schwitzing is Yiddish for sweating.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I'm schwitzing over here. I need to hear
Schwitzing.
I need to hear Melvin Spiel say that. I'm schwitzing a little bit.
I'm surprised you actually don't know it because it's a pretty normal. It's a pretty like schmuck
Yeah.
and schmeckele. You know, schmeckele is a tiny dick. Schmuck is a asshole, not actually a dick.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounded like self-evident. It kind of sounded like what it is, and I assumed, but
schwitz. Yeah,
assumptions.
You're schwitzing.
So
I'm
I
schwitzing.
wanted to ask.
But it
I
also
wanted
can
to
be used
ask
like,
because you know what assumptions do.
but you can use it like anxiety. For like anxiety, you can. It's
Uh-huh.
also like dual purpose. Like if it's like you're having a panic attack. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm schwitzing over here.
Yeah. Don't be sweating. Don't be sweating it.
Yeah.
Or oh my god, they got me schwitzing.
So now I have to go find a fan. I didn't want to go to Walmart because I fucking hate Walmart.
Ball fart.
Walmart for obvious reasons. It's like quite literally going into a 5-ring circus.
Well, there's that. I mean, there's the fact that you're like paying Satan, and then there's the fact that you're like, hey, let me go interact with the lowest common denominator of American society. How many butt cracks will I see? 5 so far. Haven't left the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean that is fairly true. Also, I mean around here we have a lot of, I don't know if you know, but the Palm Desert area is notorious for having some of the largest concentration of rehabs in America.
Oh,
like
I thought you were going to say retired.
Betty Ford. No, Betty Ford is in Palm Springs.
Oh wow, okay.
So is
I always thought it was LA.
So is Passages. So no. Their check-in.
They just call it LA. Okay.
Their check-in is in LA. Their offices aren't in Malibu. You check in Malibu and you get bused to Palm Springs.
That is hilarious. Welcome to Betty Ford with a lovely view of the ocean. Now get in the bus, fucker.
Basically, yeah. If you can't pay the $100,000 a week, which is how much Malibu charges, then they send you to their other Southern California location, which happens to be Palm Desert.
Jesus.
So all jokes aside, we really do have a lot of fucking like spun out addicts and like drug addicts hanging out at Walmart. That's another reason I really don't like going over there, is there's always somebody who's like behind you in line who's like picking at their face or something. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Eyeing out what you're buying and what you're paying with. Like, hey, he had an extra 20.
Yeah, or maybe he
Right.
thinks he's got a 20 hidden in his face and he's just going to pick at it until he finds it.
Yeah. Ooh, it's in there. It's in there. Oh, it's so fucked up. Right?
It's pretty fucking gross, but it's
You've
a
seen
nice
these
little
pictures
thing.
of like good-looking people, like before and after Speed, like ah,
Oh yeah.
God.
Oh yeah. Like how did?
Like
Oh man.
it's the
That's
grossest
the thing
thing.
with speed. Like it's. I feel like it's actually worse than a lot of those other drugs, just because it gives people the illusion that they're like on top of the world, to the point that even when they're in a gutter, they still feel like they're on top of the world.
Right. It gives you that artificial confidence. Like a
Like
heroin
they've
junkie
artificial.
hides because
Oh
they
yeah.
know, like, ooh,
Right,
I'm
they
all
know
gray. I'm
it's
a heroin
gross.
junkie.
Right, they know it's
Yeah.
getting nasty. Right, coke addicts
Yeah.
same. They're like, oh, this shit's fucking getting gross. I'm gonna go hide in a hole somewhere. Meth addicts are like, no, we're gonna go to Michael's and walk around like a bunch of fucking assholes and show off to the world that
Yeah.
we're all spun out of our mind.
And
And the worst part is, it's like, yeah, no, it's their mentality. Because even when you're like, wow, dude, I'm kind of surprised you're here right now, and they look at you and they're like, nothing's wrong with me. Everything's fine. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
yeah, they get in your face. Yeah, that's it. Instead of being chill, they get in your face and try to prove, like, I don't know.
Yeah, everything's fine here. I'm totally stable. What's wrong with you? Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has a core meltdown in the middle of public place. Like, I can't take it anymore.
There's a BuzzFeed video that I was watching actually this morning, because a friend of mine he's a security manager for a club in town. He was like, hey, you got to see this video that, and I guess it's old, but it's a BuzzFeed video of like drunk versus high people.
Oh, yeah.
They did like a series of like 3 of them. They did like one with one of their own people, and then people, I guess, made comments like, oh, you're not really pointing out the real severity. So then they actually showed like people in Hollywood at a club, and then showed other people in Hollywood, same time frame, at a dispensary, walking out of a dispensary and walking out of a club. And the kind of people, like they asked 3 questions to each group of people. The guys walking out of the club got irate, and in the end they called the cops on them. And the other group of people that were walking out of the dispensary, they asked the same 3 questions. It took 30 minutes for the 3 questions to be actually answered, but no cops were called. And it was a civil conversation. The guy just kept getting off a topic because he was fucking stoned out of his gourd.
Right? I mean, there it is, people, right there.
Right there. If
What
you
we
need
all
a further
knew.
excuse that we need to change our priorities a little bit. There you go.
Yeah, and what kills me, Taco, is that, there's a liquor store in every corner, and it's the most harmful substance known to man, pretty
Alcohol
much.
kills more people than tobacco.
But you got to have a dispensary. It's got to be around the corner, up the bend.
Oh yeah,
It's got to be in
right.
like
Can't have can't have a in
warehouse
California. You
district.
can't have liquor. You can't have a liquor store within 100 feet of a dispensary.
You
You can't.
can't have a
You cannot
smoking
sell
garden.
alcohol. No, you can't have a lounge within 400 feet of a 400 feet of a liquor store and 1,000 feet of a school. A liquor store
Like
can
how?
be within 100 feet of a school, by the way.
Right. So why can't I go to a coffee shop, get a cup of coffee, and smoke a joint? It's legal.
Right. Well, you can in West
Why?
Hollywood now. West Hollywood
Well,
passed
good.
an ordinance saying that if you're over the age of 21 and you're within the downtown district, since they legalized open package 2 years ago, they now say
There
that
you
it
go.
falls under exactly the same law. It's an open package, open container. As long as you're within the district and you're over the age of 21, if you get carded, you're able to prove it. You're legal and you're fine. No one's going to give you shit. But if you are underage, then it's going to be the same
Shouldn't
as
that be the
everywhere
deal?
else. You're
Right.
absolutely
Well,
that should be the deal. That's
nobody's
what Vegas is
condoning.
doing on the Strip.
Yeah.
You can now walk
Nobody's
down the street with a
condoning
beer and a
kids.
joint.
Nobody's condoning kids. Nobody ever was.
No. And the trick is the people who are people who are really actually in the industry, whether they were consumers before or they're. I'm not talking about the people who are jumping on the bandwagon now that it's recreational. I'm talking about people like you, me, people who've been around it for a long time, have been trying for a long time to get it to a point that it's legal, and we kind of I generally believe that we kind of all collectively make sure that us above the age of a certain, 21 or 18 or whatever adults are able to get access to good quality medicine. But at the same time, we have all been highly protective of youth the entire time. Don't do it around kids. Don't have it out around kids. If you're going to an event that's at Venice Beach or whatever, and you want to smoke, if there's kids around, just be a little bit more courteous. Don't take it out right in front of them. Don't be an asshole, basically.
Yeah.
So
and don't be that
parent.
parent.
Know that it needed to be. I don't know that it needs to be policy legislated, because I think enough people are already being like, no, we wouldn't do that shit anyways. That's
And
don't
be that parent. Don't be that parent that posts a video on TikTok like, yeah, I smoke with my teenager, because that's not cool. You shouldn't be doing that, and you're giving all of us a bad name.
Right.
It's the same as drinking with your kid at that age. I mean, it's not, but it slows brain development, and it's not cool. Your brain's developing until you're 25. So
I hear you, but my parents would argue. My parents would argue with that. My father went to medical school. He would argue with you, in the respect that all of us kids started drinking when we were younger, but it was only beer and wine. We never were allowed hard alcohol until like whatever 18. You're an adult. You can do whatever the fuck you want now.
Until 13.
But it was always right. It was also never like, my parents never got us like drunk. It wasn't like, oh, we're in, my dad's gonna go out for beer. Does the kids want any? No, it was like, if there's a beer in the fridge and it's, a family dinner or something like that, and you want to share one with you, like the kids want to share one, that's fine, not an issue. But my parents weren't advertising it either, because that's their house. That's their own parenting. That's their own choice. They weren't telling people like, this is what you should be doing. And if my friends' parents were like, why are you condoning your kids like 16? Why are you condoning that? And my parents would turn around and be like, they're 16. They're going to get drunk with your son out and about and behind the wheel and get into some serious fucking trouble if we don't provide them that space. They're going to do it anyway. Right. So that's true, because I had friends like that for them to do that.
And that's totally true, because I had friends like that, and we'd go to their house.
But my parents wouldn't
wouldn't
drink
get in
with
trouble.
Me. They would provide it and be available, but they wouldn't be sitting there having a drink with me. That would have been really fucking creepy.
That would have been weird, yeah. But my parents were super hardcore anti, so I rebelled against that. So I didn't just have a beer or two. I would drink till I threw up.
The whole thing. Drink it until it was all gone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, man. Crazy. But legalize it, don't criticize it. It should, what the number one thing is, it should just be taken away from Schedule 1. That's ridiculous.
I understand completely. Oh man, come on.
Right.
I'm having a bit of a brain fart. I might as well get the points for it. I just can never remember which phone number I use with it.
So you actually, you're a silver member, so you get 10% or the sale price, whichever is more.
Which one's more? The sale price, yeah.
The sale price, because it's 25% off.
So I'm kind of excited. I'm going to finish soundproofing my closet this weekend.
That's exciting.
Yeah, making a little vocal booth.
So I have a plan for today. Okay. Hasn't done very well. Me and Alejandro are going to be...
Thanks very much.
What you having? Tacos?
No, I had to get a Lasco fan, a wind machine.
Oh.
As one does.
That's funny. I've got a Lasco fan going right now on my desk, facing out my window.
I need to move around 108-degree Fahrenheit air, and hopefully it'll be semi-cooling.
Yeah, when I used to do construction, I used to use this one too. Like if I was doing drywall, I'd put it in the window to get the drywall dust out of the house.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. Actually, I'm putting it in front of the AC vent and letting it just blow the other way. Because there's only, for whatever reason, my AC is a little fucked up. There's vents everywhere, but it actually only blows cold air in the family room.
Yep.
And
So
all of
blow
the
that
vents
shit.
are open. They're all open. I've checked
There you
every
go.
last one of them. All the returns and exchanges are open. Everything's open. But for whatever reason, because of the dynamics of how that ducting system was built, it draws air from near the garage and it blows it directly into the family room, but nowhere else. So
Oh,
the
shit.
family room is quite frigid, and the rest of the house is boiling. So I've got a series of fans plopped basically in every doorway, blowing cold air from the central room. It's very awkward looking. Very awkward.
Air distribution.
It really is, though. It's like, what's going on with all the fans? I thought you guys just had the AC worked on 3 months ago and replaced. Yeah, we did. I'm not going to go into any further. Yep, that happened.
I'm very phobic about stagnant air. Just tell people that and they'll be like, okay. It won't go any further.
Stagnant air is the best. Oh, man. So what are you doing today, senor?
I am.
Aside from that closet.
So I just last night and this morning I got done putting together this. I've ordered some office furniture, and I got done putting together this piece of furniture. So now I've got half of my awesome office, and then now I'm about to go get some carpet padding and some carpet and hang that and finish my closet.
Did you get the stuff from IKEA?
Or
did it come from Target?
Get it from Home Depot.
Oh, Home Depot. Or Home Depot, as some people like to say.
Yeah, Home Depot. I like. But they are kind of despots, so that's kind of appropriate. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start going to Lowe's.
I honestly think that's why so many people like calling it Home Depot.
Yeah. But these things are cool, super industrial, like workbench. But it's going to be like a standing office.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And then I'm going to have another desk in my closet, so I'll have that set up for recording voiceover demos. Hopefully, voiceover work. But yeah, going to get it all set up with a separate recording setup, separate computer in there. Yep.
Very cool, man. Fuck
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm really dreading taking the shit out of the car. Come on. People from Nevada, why do you all drive like a bunch of imbeciles?
Oh, well, because they're from Nevada.
Nevada.
There's only like 8 million people in the whole state or something like that, right? So
I think it's less than that. I think it's like 4 million or 3 million, because Vegas is only like 2 and Reno's like 1 million, and then there's like
it's crazy. Yeah, it's Vegas, Reno, and then all these tiny little satellite towns. Some of them like straight up old Western towns, like crazy.
Oh yeah, like Tombstone.
Yeah, and like the Bucket of Blood Saloon. Like what? Okay.
I also learned something very, very, very recently that I have been fucking up for a long time. Did you know that Nevada is neither a Spanish nor an English word?
I didn't know that, but it doesn't sound Spanish. What is it?
It's tribal.
Is it Native American?
It's
that's
Tagalog.
awesome. That's
and
rad.
It's pronounced Nevada, not Nevada, because it's not an English or a Spanish word. That's the pronunciation, Nevada. And when I said it, so I was talking to somebody who's Navajo, and she was like, it's Navea in Navajo, but in the Tagalog language from that region, it's Nevada. And I was like, okay, so it's not Nevada. And she goes, no, that's for people who are stupid.
Stupid. I love it.
right, cool. My bad.
Navajo. Idaho. Idaho.
Idaho. Idaho?
Idaho.
No, in Idaho.
Idaho right here. Idaho right here. Oh, shit.
Way.
Well, good rapping with you, buddy. I think I'm going to go grab a little bit of lunch and go get my carpet.
Okay, man. I will talk to you in the future. I'll be free a little bit later this afternoon or evening if you want to give me a shout again.
Cool. I might be as well, depending on how the carpet goes.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you then.
All right. Have a great afternoon, my friend.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Aqua, for listening.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, thanks for tuning in to another episode and another thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and another thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.